I fight foreclosures for a living. The reason that I do that is, quite honestly, to bring some peace of mind to my clients' lives, to give them some breathing room. One of the options my clients have is foreclosure defense, and that is defending the actual lawsuit. So once it gets filed, we file a response as quickly as we can, hopefully in the first 20 days, and then aggressively defend the lawsuit and chase the bank, essentially, for documents they don't want to give me because they may or may not disprove their case. And if they can't show or prove those things, then they're not entitled to their foreclosure, and the case will be thrown out by the judge. One of the issues that I often find with my clients is they have pieces of information from different sources, from their friends or relatives, some from the internet, and that information may not be correct, typically isn't correct. And so what I really need to do is sit with my clients and systematically go through their individual situation, what their home is worth, what they owe, what's going on in their lives, and custom tailor a plan to help them deal with the situation. Once you're represented by an attorney, you effectively have a bubble around you. The bank can't come out to the house. They can't send the sheriff out. They can't call you. They can't send anything to you. They can't contact you. They have to come through your lawyer first, which means my clients are very essentially uninvolved in this process. I am going to court fighting the battles, and my clients hopefully are bringing some peace of mind and a better quality of life in that they don't need to worry about the sheriff showing up tomorrow. And they don't need to worry about the unknown because there's long periods of time and good information. Just alleviating the stress of having to deal with the foreclosure process is part of what I do. But my clients are not involved in a way that one would normally be involved in litigation. They're not going to court. They're not being, put on the stand and cross-examined. That is different types of cases. In a foreclosure case, it's really the bank's burden of proof. One of the things that people may not realize about foreclosure defense is the bank actually has to produce the original note. Very frequently they can't, or they can't find it. And there is a system for them to move ahead under a lost note theory, but the burden of proof is much higher and creates a lot of difficulties. The bank has to provide proof that they sent you certain documents before they started the lawsuit. Those letters that they're supposed to send you are requirements before they file it, and if those aren't done the right way or include the right information, that is yet another defense to the lawsuit. This is what the banks are supposed to do. Another example is in certain loans, the bank is supposed to actually make an effort to try and help people save their homes before they file the lawsuit. It's called a face-to-face requirement. And certain loans require the banks to come out to the house and try and help you save your home before they sue you. My job is to try and find those things that the bank didn't do, bring them to the judge's attention, and get the judge to throw out the case. When I'm representing a client in a foreclosure case, they can expect not to be bothered or harassed by the bank, first of all. Secondly, they're staying in their homes. My clients stay where they are. They're not paying the insurance or the taxes because the bank is typically paying both of those. They're not paying the mortgage. Essentially, the idea is to go about your life and to help put the pieces back together, and then potentially we can work on some solutions to try and save the home in most cases, or work out other options to try and better their financial situation. But my clients, for the most part, need peace of mind. They need to know that I'm out there fighting the case and they can be in their homes without worry that they're going to be kicked out on short notice. By and large, my clients are good, honest American people. They are family folks. They care about their homes. They care about their jobs and their communities. They just want a chance to get back on their feet, and they don't see it as fair. Why should big government give the breaks to all the big businesses when my clients, who owe twice as much as their home is worth, are left holding the bag? And they just don't see that as equitable and fair. My job is to level that playing field to some extent, is to give my clients some leverage to be able to try and work out some solutions that help put them back in good standing. I think that we are very different from most law firms. I take a very individual approach to every client. Every client talks to me. Every client talks only to me, and that is throughout the course of the case. I need to know what's going on in my clients' lives to be able to make determinations about what good legal choices there may be for them. I would say every single one of my clients did not decide to be in the situation they're in. I know that you hear a lot about a strategic default and those people who are purposely going behind. I have found that to be the exception rather than the rule. Most folks have done everything they can for as long as they can. They've scraped, they've drained their savings, they're living from paycheck to paycheck just to pay that mortgage. The mortgage is one of the last things that folks decide to stop paying. Again, it's the roof over your head. So when that happens, things have gotten pretty bad. And my clients need some cleanup at that stage. They need some help cleaning up the mess that either they or the bank has created or left them in. I think what we do differently is a very hands-on approach. Every client is looked at as an individual. We care about them, and they've been dealing with some larger institutions that may not care about them, or seemingly anyway. And I understand my clients are very frustrated by the time they get to me, typically. Part of what I'm trying to do for them is to lower that level of frustration with some understanding of what's going on and some solutions in terms of how to deal with those things. My staff and I make absolutely no judgments about people in the situation that they're in. Most of the time, something has gone wrong in my clients' lives. A loss of a job, a health issue, other personal issues. The reason is irrelevant because the bank doesn't care why you went behind. The bank is after your house, and the bank is after your money. They don't care why it is you stopped paying. I do, but we need to take a look at going forward. In my foreclosure defense practice, I've saved my clients millions of dollars in principal reduction. Very often, the bank will reduce what my clients owe significantly because the banks find it very risky to go to trial against me, lose, have to pay the legal bill, and my clients stay in the home. That is very expensive for the banks. They would much rather have your money than your house. And so, therefore, they'd rather work with you to try and reduce potentially what you owe to something more reasonable so that you have an interest in keeping your home and you can afford to make the monthly payment. One of the most amazing things about what I do is when I fight a foreclosure case and win, the bank has to pay my client's legal bills. So that there is an avenue of recovery so that if the bank starts a foreclosure case against you that they either shouldn't have or that we're able to have dismissed, then the bank has to pay my legal fees, which is my client's legal bill. So there is a way to recover all of it for my clients. Typically, I'm able to warn my clients at least 4 to 6 months before the end of any case, and that's after we are done with some significant litigation. So there are no surprises. There is no 24 hours you've got to go somewhere or 30 days you've got to go somewhere. The timelines are significantly longer, and that peace of mind for my clients is everything. I care about every single client. I know them all by name. I know every story. I really want to be involved in my clients' lives, and I need them to communicate with me as well. Good information needs to flow both ways. If I have good information from my clients in terms of what's going on in their lives, I can help provide them some good options.